Men are walking away, and there's quite a few clips that always illustrate this.
My husband doesn't know what like the kids are getting for Christmas, but I don't have to worry about the mortgage. Your husband is a loser. You're married to a loser. You're married to a loser, and I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see it. Stop telling me about your loser husbands and boyfriends. It's so embarrassing. You need to start feeling some shame.
It's embarrassing that you feel this way about them flaunting and talking about their husbands when you're alone and single and fat and frumpy.
And then you're going to be like, oh, but it's not that deep. It actually is that deep. It actually is that deep because I was with someone for 10 years who never got me a single gift, who never knew what the kids were getting, and I didn't know what the mortgage was. And then we got divorced.
Oh, what's wrong, Pookie? Is this you projecting your own resentment on stay-at-home moms who have husbands that provide? Because you also had a husband that allowed you to be a stay-at-home mom, but you effed that up and now you have to work for a living?
Correct.
It's sad, isn't it?
No, Mr. President, it's pathetic.
Why I think society should be restructured as a matriarchy rather than a patriarchy, with sources and counterarguments. Now, the first thing that's important to understand here is that when I say matriarchy, I do not mean the reversal of patriarchy. I mean a system that is organized around care, life, and relational responsibility, rather than by power and domination. Now, this is what our current system looks
It's not by power and domination, it's by rules and hierarchy.
like, whereby alpha men, the rich, physically strong, and powerful, sit at the very top, and they essentially dictate the rules, norms, and regulations for everybody else in the pyramid. Beneath them are the red-pilled, equally toxically masculine men who idolize these guys because of the dominance and power that they have over everybody else. Then you have the middle ground men. Now, these are guys who don't really subscribe to this, but they're still gonna laugh at these jokes when they're made in their friend groups because they know that if they were to speak up, they would be oppressed by the above. Then you have non-conforming people, and then beneath them, attractive.
Again, it's so unattractive when we listen to them speak because it's just so unintelligent. No logic behind it whatsoever.
Women, so this is where pretty privilege comes in. And then beneath them, all other women, and finally at the very bottom, you've got children. Now, once again, this is a structure built on power and dominance. And when we contrast that with a
Not on protection and everything, right?
matriarchy, you see a stark difference here. Up here, everyone is oppressed by those in the tiers above them.
Whereas down here, the structure is based on care and protection. Who needs these things the most? So that's why we have children at the center, then women, then men. And therefore,
You know, that is pretty much the exact same structure you created, you idiot.
matriarchy is not simply women ruling over men. It is the prioritization of care and collective well-being and the social organization around life-sustaining systems. I'm going to cite my sources up here as always, but anthropological research shows us that many matrilineal societies operated like this, rather than like this, prioritizing cooperation and relationships over domination. And a core part of this argument is that this isn't even serving men, because when your relationships are built on dominance, power, and control over kinship, connection, and collective well-being, you see things like skyrocketing suicide rates and plummeting men's mental health, because it is this very patriarchal system that conditions men to suppress their vulnerability and
Yes, please.
Sweetie, this is all well and good, but a matriarchy will never be implemented because women don't support it.
What?
And the most obvious example is Donald Trump, who won both of his terms by running against women, and the reason why both Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris lost is because not enough women voted for them, even though women are 51% of the voting bloc.
It's sad, isn't it?
Now, if we're gonna look at the wider social status quo, the US, even in the current age of female empowerment, still has a lot of stay-at-home wives who depend on their husbands, and a lot of women, despite feminism and TikTok, want to be stay-at-home wives and be dependent on their husbands and not have to work for a living. So, things being as they are, the patriarchy will be eternal.
That was like one of my first movies I watched in the movie theaters was like Austin Powers. So, like I watched, so my first movie was The Faculty, and then I watched Austin Powers was the next movie. So.
Most men are deeply unattractive because of Mother Nature and something called the Great Scam.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Well, sweetie, if what you're saying is true, I guess Mother Nature gave you the man treatment.
You're one ugly
This will never not be funny to me because being single is like quote unquote embarrassing and still nobody want to be with you.
Or with you.
Like, that's just so hilarious. Women are taught that being single is literally like the worst thing that can happen to you. We are taught growing up to literally dream of love, dream of a perfect relationship, dream of a fairy
You weren't taught that. You thought of those things on your own, by the way.
tale ending. And we like get to a certain age, I'm 25, girls are older than me still choosing to be single. We don't want y'all.
And the men you want don't want you either, which is why
Exactly.
you're single. Seriously, sweetie. I know you're trying to dunk on men, but you're dunking on yourself without even realizing it.
Ironic.
This is your friendly yet frustrating reminder that the reason the anthropology rock pranks are working is because men think we're stupid.
That's because you're acting stupid and the prank is stupid. But for context, this prank is wives opening a package in front of their husbands which contains a literal rock and acting all excited about it, while the husband looks perplexed as to why his stay-at-home wife spent his money to buy a literal rock.
Correct.
Stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
I didn't even know this was a thing.
The work that you do to make your house a home is so invisible and undervalued that you literally could have been buying rocks the whole time. The new curtains you put up last week, the extra Christmas decorations you bought this year, the little key rack that you put by the front door, all just rocks. And they genuinely think that we might be literally dumb enough to spend $200 on an actual rock
You guys are.
from
We've
a
seen
fancy store.
Well, to be fair, some of you lovely ladies spend $200 on your nails when you could do them yourselves at home for about $10. So, yeah, buying a $200 rock, not
not
that
out of the picture.
far-fetched.
Like, that's the level of intelligence they're assuming that you have. So kudos to the ladies doing the acting, though. Like, I'm very much entertained by the videos. I'm not trying to knock any of the ladies doing it. It's funny as but like, it's working because the men don't like us.
You know, it's funny. You lovely ladies created this prank.
It's like you do something stupid and then you expect the men to just co-sign on it. No, you're stupid and you're doing something stupid.
And now you're offended by your own prank.
Right.
I think one of the reasons that me and so many women in their 30s are single is because we don't want to train men. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about this guy that I've been talking to who isn't quite acting as I would expect. And she was like, oh, you know, that's trainable. That's not necessarily a deal breaker. Sometimes they just need a little bit of coaching. What if I don't want to be a coach? Why have we normalized training men? Why would I want to be with someone who I have to teach how to treat me? I didn't have to be trained.
No, you didn't have to be trained because for about 40 years now, a lot of Western women don't think they need to know how to treat a man, which is why over 51% of marriages end in divorce, with women initiating 80 to 90% of divorces.
I have so many amazing girlfriends who didn't have to be trained. So why are we okay with the idea that we have to train our boyfriends? Now, I'm not saying that relationships don't take communication. Obviously, if you have expectations of your partner, you have to make them known. But I think the idea of training men is a modern day way of saying I can change him. And I think that leads women to settle.
No, sweetie. Old age and loneliness lead women to settle. And you will too.
You're goddamn right.
They really think they're better. They really do. But they're not.
This is not how you get a mess from me. Absolutely not. Okay? Not gonna work. Mm-mm. None of this. None of this. Right in here, 5 to 7. And 7 is pushing it, if you ask me. But 5 and 6, let me tell you, you're gonna get a mess by the end of it. Not with
Okay.
And considering that this lovely lady makes a living on that website that starts with only, I have a feeling that this is just marketing while the actual content is being shot with horse rods.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
My most controversial and also my most correct opinion is that men do not need easy lives.
And my most controversial and correct opinion is that
Women
don't need a
cages?
man's money, or unrestricted abortion, or to be exempt from the draft.
How dare women, in order to feel safe and to bear children and to have a regulated nervous system, we need to be protected. We need to be
You say that, but there wouldn't be as many single mothers out there as there are now if that was the case.
secure. We need to be able to calm our nervous system. We need ease. We need comfort. Men do not need that. They need a mission, they need a sense of direction, and they need fulfillment.
Funny how you conveniently left out that we also need peace in our lives.
They need problem solving. This is what keeps them sharp and useful.
Oh,
So
how is
that's
they
why you lovely
useful?
ladies always cause problems for us.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
The worst thing that can happen to a man is that he does not feel useful.
And here I thought the worst thing that can happen to a man
Is being
was to
used.
lose all of his assets and kids in a divorce, or having to fight and probably die in a war he didn't agree to, while his undraftable wife gets to flee the war and go on dating podcasts while he's dodging Russian missiles.
She's actually, Zerka, she's actually married. Her husband's back in Ukraine.
She's married.
You're on a dating podcast while that is avoiding shells?
Man, that's messed up.
Women have been conditioned to believe that they need to make men's lives easy. That is not true. You need to make men's life better. That doesn't mean being simple. That doesn't mean doing his laundry and cooking him meals and raising his children while he kicks his feet up on Sundays. That means giving him a mission and allowing him to make your life easy.
See, this is exactly how a lot of women think. They think that, yeah, their job is to keep on giving us things to do because that's their job. And our job is to keep doing stuff they want us to do.
So that you can rest and regulate your nervous system and do all the things that woman naturally does without the urgency and the fear and the stress that he is biologically designed to protect you from.
No, sweetie. A man is biologically designed to
Now everything in life is our responsibility when it comes to them, huh?
protect himself from BS and to live his life happy and free and unencumbered by a do-nothing bitch.
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
It's so ridiculous how entitled these women are coming on the internet and just spouting these stupid things, right? And there's plenty of men that never check these women when women say these things. And as I say, men should start checking women more. I know you not argue with these women, but say you're fucking dumb and walk away. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that, and catch you guys next time. Ciao.